going for a degree of realism is a particular challenge, or is that kind of, do you like that kind of as opposed to creating a universe from scratch and art, like a look from scratch?
No, I love, each one is a different challenge, each game, and this particular one was sitting down with the art director from Infinity Ward and Richard Kriegler, and him telling us the rules they had, and just finding ways to get that, but also try and enhance that as well.
Man, the Mike is just being a monster right now with that sniper
really
rifle.
Yeah,
but I think this is a good example of level design that kind of caters to a bunch of different weapon types. Obviously, there's this huge alley for a sniper. There's buildings you can go into. Obviously, for he's not invulnerable from people coming around the side with assault rifles or submachine guns.
Yeah.
So, Twitter user Sketchy Cinema HD.
I've been to one of those.
He asks. He asked a question that
recently.
He says, "How is the banning system going to work as far as like being able to ban players or kick players?"
That is a very good question because I don't know how much detail I want to go into it, but the anti-cheat work that we've done on Modern Warfare 3 as a whole across all the platforms is extensive. We have so much more control now over how we can edit and take action on the leaderboards, so we can clean up the leaderboards from anybody who we determine is illegitimate, because we have the benefit now of having things like Elite, where not only can you go in and check every game you've ever played, check every detailed stat that you've ever done, but we can go in and use that to verify, okay, this guy was obviously boosting, this guy was obviously doing something that was not fair. So we can go in there, we can review games in theater, we can review player reports, because you have a report player function in game now. So that flags somebody and says, okay, maybe this is a game we need to be paying attention to. So if you see somebody doing something that's shitty, flag them, because if a lot of people are flagging them in the game, that's going to bring it to our attention faster. So we can go in and verify, ban players from the game, keep them from playing, keep them from registering on the leaderboard temporarily, forever, whatever we want to do. So you're taking a big risk by trying to cheat in the game in the first place. Because when we identify you, you can take yourselves out of the competition completely. But then, more importantly, we have the tools to actually verify that and take even further action on it.
For people that are unfamiliar with what Elite does is it kind of, on top of, it tracks a lot of stats, but you can also go into particulars like where you got to kill, what gun you got to kill, who killed you, where you were standing exactly when that guy killed you. You can kind of get a good feel for like where the good kill zones are on a map for maybe what a really amazing player was doing to get all those kills.
Yeah, strategies you can learn just from that stuff.
Yeah, you can really go in there and analyze data.
Yeah.
But you guys also have access to that data. Is that sort of the data that you guys will use to help do maybe balance tweaks and stuff as the game goes on? And obviously it's one thing when you guys are playing and in the studio and with small teams, but when the game gets in the hands of millions of people who are spending hours with it, I'm sure they learn to do things that you never anticipated.
Yeah, always, of course. And Elite's going to allow us to, get hard data on that, because getting fan feedback is extremely important, and then getting the hard data that supports that is just as important.
Yeah, and we can use some of that in any DLC or any maps in the future. It helps us become better designers.
That was the decoy strike package.
So for your question, Sketchy Cinema HD, and for your awesome name, you're getting a copy of the game. I think that worked out, because banning players and how to deal with sketchy situations is always something I think people worry about, especially in a game like Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 3. It's like the multiplayer in this game is where it has its real legs, and people are going to be playing for years.
Yeah, definitely.
I wonder why Sketchy asked that question.
Yeah, maybe he's like, I don't want to get banned.
Yeah,
so what sort of things?
Do not soil the fair name of Sketchy Cinema.
Another a Twitter question that comes from Haibuse86. He says, will there be any 3D game support for the 10 people out there that have 3D TVs?
I just got one, actually.
Did you really?
Yeah.
11.
Pretty exciting.
Is that something that you guys are ever looking to support with something like Call of Duty?
Black Ops supported it.
Yeah.
So Call of Duty has supported it. It was not something that we were looking to support with Modern Warfare 3.
We kind of look at it from a gameplay perspective,
Exactly.
and if it's not going to add, any value to the gameplay, then it's not something we should put in.
Yeah, I guess at that point, if the technology was more prolific and it had a way that it could be emphasized for gameplay.
And there was no impact on frame rate or anything like that.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think Call of Duty is one of the few games that, to this day, it always talks about the frame rate is still such a coveted sort of thing.
It is. It's key.
You know, and there are other games like Gears of War and stuff that can run at 30 and they work just fine because that's like what the multiplayer is designed for.
Exactly.
But Call of Duty, obviously, you know, you guys could push the graphics to even crazier levels if you wanted. But if it's going to take away from that 60 frames a second, it's like, you know, the pros versus the cons.
Yeah, it's all about the overall experience. For sure.
Why is it that you feel the 60 frames per second for people that are kind of more familiar with it is so important to the Call of Duty experience?
For us, it's all about that smooth gameplay because the gunplay is king for us, and it's extremely fast gunplay.